What if Deku never got one for all? Part 3. And before I do start this video, I'd just like to say, go check out the community poll in the community tab of my channel or on the homepage. I'm not really sure how that works. For the poll or the voting for tomorrow's What If, which is what if Deku had Jiren's powers or what if Deku stayed corkless. So, to begin, we're at the USJ incident. Now, Deku, remember, last time had a cloning quirk and a shape-shifting quirk. So he could change into somebody who has a tail, like a Saiyan tail, with black spiky hair. And he can also change into his normal form. And since he has a cloning quirk, like a physical clone, kind of like Meliodas, he keeps that at UA. And he knows the information the clone learns. So, Deku goes over, and everybody's like shocked, and so is, or like faking shock, the clone, as he basically knows this is going to happen, but he plays along with it. So, basically, they keep going. Deku, instead of Shigaraki, remember, Shigaraki's dead. So Deku's there, with Moneta, who I'm going to say Moneta's only, for temporary use. So everybody's super scared of the villains until they see 3 people come out. Kirigiri, Nomu, Deku, who is sitting on the Nomu's shoulder, and Moneta. Everybody's like, wait, is it that Moneta, the kid who was that pervert kid? And basically, Deku told All For One and Kirigiri, if he's a pervert at the USJ, he's going to take his head and just kick his body off of his head. So, as soon as Deku hears, as soon as I get one of you girls, I'm going to have a field day with you guys, Deku's like, I knew you couldn't be like this forever. As he basically just grabs his head and just kicks his body, like severing the connection between his head and body, as he just lifts up the head and just drops it. As everyone's still so shocked. It's like somebody they knew just died, like, in front of their eyes, which, like, they've all been used to, like, this simple little world, but now they're facing death in the eyes, just, like, looking at it, and they're like, shaking in fear. Aizawa jumps down, only for Deku to put his hand over to block Aizawa, and he's like, we have no clue what these guys' quirks are. It's best if we wait and try and get some hero help. So Aizawa's like, please, I can handle these guys, as he jumps down, only for Deku to come out of nowhere, and he's like, fight me. Everybody's watching, no pressure. So when Aizawa erases Deku's quirk, it only erases his fire quirk, which he wasn't even going to use. His martial arts quirk is basically like a knowledge quirk. You can't just flip a switch and it's off. So Eraserhead or Aizawa cannot just turn off Deku's martial arts quirk, because he's like a real-life martial artist. He knows every single kind. So Deku just keeps fighting Aizawa with such precision, and like he's blocking and grabbing Aizawa's scarf. And at one point he kneed it and broke it in half as he pulls both ends of it, making Aizawa come towards him, as Deku just slams him into the ground with a punch, as Aizawa was completely knocked out. So Deku basically said, Kirigiri, take out the tall blue-haired kid. So Kirigiri basically knocks out Ida. As Deku is just rubbing his hands, Deku's like cracking his fingers, Deku just says, now that the speed kid's out, none of you can call for help. Now, Kirigiri, take out 13 and the kid with the thunderbolt on his head, which Kirigiri does easily. Deku walks up to them and says, who's willing to be a villain? Which nobody raises their hand. So Deku just laughs at this and he's like, that's fine by me. Will only mean your death anyways. As Deku grabs the invisible girl's head, just lifts her up and he's like, he won't be a real good hero anyway. And just like cracks her skull. Like, I don't honestly, and like kills her. I don't really know how Toro or whatever is going to be a hero. Is like she gonna like choke somebody? Like, she's invisible, right? Yeah, cool. But she's not like okay, or like she's not like strong or anything. She's just invisible. So I don't really know how she even passed like the practical exam, but who cares? So Deku just killed Toro, and he's like, anybody want to join now? You guys can get paid. Which Uraraka's just like steps forward, and she's like, well, if I can support my family, then I guess I should join. So everyone's just like, Uraraka, what are you doing? That's when Uraraka just is like, well, the whole reason I became a hero was to support my family. But I guess if he's already going to do that, I can join him. He can already start supporting my family, right? Deku just laughs and says, of course. And your quirk's anti-gravity, correct? It could be quite useful. If I also give you a gravity quirk, that should make you pretty unstoppable. Deku just laughs at this, only for All Might to burst through the door. Deku just tells the Nomu to kill as much people as possible and just leaves with Uraraka, Kirigiri, and just Uraraka, him, and Kirigiri, basically. So the Nomu ends up dying by All Might. As Deku comes back without the Nomu, All For One asks where is it, and he's like, it doesn't really matter. He wasn't going to beat All Might anyway. If we retrieved him, it's not like he'd do it again. So Deku's like, do you have a gravity quirk that affects gravity to make it heavier? As All For One's like, yes. And he's like, give it to Ochako Uraraka. She has an anti-gravity quirk, and with that, she can be almost unstoppable. So basically, Uraraka gets the anti-gravity quirk, and it mixes with her anti-gravity. So now I'm going to say instead of anti-gravity or plus gravity or something, it's now full gravity. That's the name of her quirk. And she uses it on like a stool, and it like crumbles into the ground from the pressure. Deku's like, good, so you're already using it. So Uraraka's like, and about my parents, right? And he's like, no need to be nervous. We're nice here. When villains are just misunderstood, people always give them a bad rap because they kill people. Well, we do it because of things that have happened. Or greed. As All For One just like cough, as like All For One's like coughing in the background. So, please, I ask you to join us. We'll support your family to where they can buy good food and a house for them. So Deku just gives her like $10,000, and she's like, where'd you get this? And he's like, robbing a bank. Yeah, we do it every Sunday, so I guess you can have that money. Just tell your parents or just give your parents give your parents $1,000 a day and say that you're making a lot of money at your new job. Just never tell them what your job is. So Uraka thanks him and goes home. She's like, wait, why'd he just let me go home? And the next day, she ends up coming back, and he's like, you came back. We don't have a need for you going to UA. And I guess you can't really go back there anyway, since you got kidnapped. Did you tell your parents to keep quiet? She's like, oh yeah. And he's like, okay, good. So now I guess we need for you to have a villain name. Guess we can call you all Full Gravity, just like your Cork name, right? She's like, yeah, I guess so. So Deku gives her a suit, or like whatever, I don't know, like a girl suit, I have no clue. As they start, you know. As they start working, you know. So the next day at UA, everybody's talking about how Uraka disappeared. And that's when all of the teachers come in, and they're like, okay, class, we have an important announcement. Deku, you are under arrest as you are the UA traitor. So Deku just smiles and he's like, at least I don't have to hide my form anymore. As Deku just snaps back, as Deku snaps into the person with the tail form, as Deku's like, this is the villain form I used, but this is my real form. As he turns back into Deku. Or as he turns into Deku. Deku's the guy with... Or Deku... Yeah, he turned back into Deku. So he's like, yeah, you guys still haven't caught me, though. Because as soon as All Might, touched his hand, he just poofed into the air. As soon as that happened, Deku's like, So my clone's being caught, huh? As Deku changes forms, which catches Uraka's attention, and she's like, wait, that wasn't your real form? He's like, nope, this is. So you can see, the Deku on the thumbnail. She's like, whoa, okay. So basically, Deku's like, I wonder what would happen if I... he just starts turning into random animals and then a cat, and he sleeps, basically. So everybody's just shocked, two of their friends have turned to villainy. So in the next plan, Deku basically kidnaps Momo. So the next day, Deku kidnaps Momo, and he asks her if she wants freedom away from her parents. If we can still give you luxury, but we can give you better luxury than her parents did. Which Momo's like, yeah, I guess so. As she also joins. As Deku says, if you don't want to kill, you don't have to. But if you betray us, you will die. As Deku asks if she can make bombs, she ends up learning how to make a nuclear bomb. As Deku's like, oh, it's gonna be World War II all over again. Sorry if that's offensive to anybody. Deku's just cracks his fingers as he sees the bomb, and he's like, okay, Uraka, you're gonna go by the school with this bomb in your hands. I know it's gonna look really, really weird. Just keep walking straight to UA, and then just lift it into the air. Once it's flying into the air, then once it's over UA, release it and drop the bomb. So they do this, and she drops the bomb in the middle of the school day. And you may be wondering, how is Uraraka going to escape? Kirigiri, of course. Uraraka calls in Kirigiri, and they leave, as they are now in the other side of Japan. As Deku's just laughing away, as he's like, All Might's been defeated. He's finally dead. As he's watching the news, seeing how All Might has been killed and all the UA teachers and students have also been killed. As Deku basically does the exact same plan to the rest of all of the hero schools until there's no hero schools left in Japan. As Deku's like, start world domination, here we are. As All For One's like, your quirk explaining skills or your skills have been greatly needed. For that, I grant you my quirk and my immortality quirk, which means I will die giving this to you. But good luck in your world domination, as All For One gives him the quirk and then dies. So tomorrow is either what if Deku had Jiren's powers and what if Deku stayed quirkless, depending on what that community poll says. See ya, guys. Bye.